Merry Christmas Eve, everyone. This is Joe, the 50 something Dasher, with another video here. And today's topic is the Top Dasher program. Want to talk about like how I got onto the program, what it means for me and my situation and my experiences with it, just to kind of maybe, if you're not on the program yet, just to kind of maybe give you a better idea of what it's all about and that type of thing. I actually recorded this video back in late September, and I lost my train of thought in the middle of the video, so it's actually in two parts. And I just never went and edited that and pieced it together and posted it. Um, I got off work early today, had like a couple extra hours, so I figured I'd redo the video and just record it in one shot and, no editing or whatever, because, I got some extra time, but not a whole lot of time today. But I won't go over, of course, all the qualifications that you need to get on the program because that's already online. Obviously that's on the DoorDash website and well-known information as far as the criteria and everything. But I was a little bit confused at first as to how you got on the program. I started dashing in December 14th of last year, and February 2nd is when I hit my 200th order. And I just assumed, because unless they've changed the wording recently, and then I don't know about it, but if they would have just added one word to the list of the criteria, if they would have just put calendar in front of the word month, then me personally, there would have been absolutely no confusion. But I thought they were talking about a rolling month. So February 2nd, I hit my 200th order, and I met all the other criteria: customer rating, 100 orders in the last month, all of that. And I, this was, at the time, for me, this was absolutely huge. I mean, I hit my 200th order and I was going to be a top dasher. I mean, you're talking huge, right? So I didn't know what to expect. I thought maybe that, like, as I closed out, because I knew when I was on my 200th order, you better believe it. And like, I was all nervous and anxious and excited to close out that 200th order. And I thought that fireworks was going to start shooting out of my phone, and I'd have to like drop the phone because of all the fire coming out of it. Third degree burns on my hands and having to be rushed to the emergency room and all this and that. But like, I closed out that order, but like nothing happened. Closed out the order, shut down the dash, and absolutely nothing. And nothing, and no text, no email from DoorDash, absolutely nothing. So, and then the next day, nothing. So then I did a little bit more research, and then that's when I discovered that it was all by calendar month. I mean, if I had known that, I could have easily picked up those orders by the end of January and made Top Dasher for February. But as it was, then now I had to wait clear till March before I got on it. And even then, like, I don't, if I remember right, March 1st, I don't remember seeing anything. And then March 2nd, there was just like, I think, one email and like a notification when I logged into the app, congratulations, you're a top dasher. And, that was pretty much it. Um, so no fireworks, unfortunately. But the reason why I really wanted to be on it at the time is with my W 2 at that time. I worked a schedule where I started at 11 a.m. And on some of my work days, not all of them, but some of them I would wake up early, like 7, 8 o'clock in the morning, and I would want to dash for maybe an hour or two instead of just sitting around here doing nothing, just, waiting to go to work. Um, but the problem see, I'm in the Columbus, Ohio area. I'm not in New York City or Los Angeles or Tokyo, Japan here. Probably dashers in those markets, they can, like any of them, can probably get on whenever they want because it's probably like super busy 24/7, I would imagine. But this is different. And even within this area, the Columbus area, the zone that I work is probably not even the busiest zone out of the rest of the zones in this area. There's probably, if downtown and then OSU campus area, and I would just, even though I really haven't worked all of them, but I would just guess that my individual zone is probably like maybe the fourth or fifth busiest, if I just had to guess. And the problem I was running into was I could, some days I couldn't get on and dash. And I didn't want to schedule because I never wanted to set an alarm. So it was like, and also it was days where I woke up and I felt like dashing. And, there was other days where I'd wake up early, but I wasn't really up for it. So that's kind of why for me in my situation, why I really wanted the Top Dasher, because after I got on it, then I could just, every morning before work, I could just wake up whenever I wanted to wake up. If I wanted to get on, I could. If I didn't want to get on, I didn't have to, and I didn't have to schedule anything. Um, and and then, like, another problem that I would see was, even if I could get on, let's say I wanted to get on at 8 o'clock in the morning and I wanted to dash for an hour and a half. Well, another problem I would see is maybe it might only it'll let you get on, but only for a half hour, not the whole hour and a half. So, see, that was another thing. And with Top Dasher, you can get on whatever zone you want to, whatever times you want to. I've only had one instance, and to be honest, I forget where this was even at. It was out of town somewhere, and it might have even been out of state, actually. And I tried to get on, and I couldn't get on at all. Even as a Top Dasher, for whatever reason in that zone, there was no option for me to get on. But like I said, that's only happened in one time. It's never happened around here. Um, so next I wanted to, okay, so if I was to rate this on a scale of 1 to 10, exactly how important is the Top Dasher program to me? Let's say scale of 1 to 10, where a 10 is I absolutely have to have Top Dasher at all costs. I must have it. I'd say for me personally, it's probably about like a 7.5 right now. Where each month I want to be on it, and I want to. Like I said, March 2023 was the first month that I was on the program, and I've been on it every month since. And so I would like to keep it going forward, but it's not like absolutely critical. My schedule at about it's been about 6, 8 months ago now. My schedule changed at my W-2. I no longer do 11 a.m. Now I go in at 5 a.m. So any dashing I do on the weekends is now after work. So I'm scheduled 12-hour days at the W-2, and on a few days here and there where I work less than 9 hours. I have come home, changed into my DoorDash gear, and then started a dash for like a 3 to 6 p.m. dash or something like that. Um, so, and of course, I can do that any time I want. Also, so I still use the scheduling option for my Tuesday through Fridays. I typically schedule from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. But a lot of times I'm up. I set an alarm, but a lot of times I wake up before that. And with the Top Dasher, I'm able to usually I wake up, I throw on my clothes, usually 15 minutes, and I'm ready to start dashing, and I'll click in sometimes an hour and a half, 2 hours before that scheduled time, and I'm able to do that. So, and with DoorDash at the moment, because my W-2, I have sky high amount of deductions that come out of my paychecks right now. It's ridiculous. So DoorDash, believe it or not, is my primary source of take home income right now. And that's for me in my situation, that's why it's important. But I should have said this at the start of the video, but my advice to anybody watching that's not on the program yet, should I be on the program? Should I not be on it? It's really going to depend on your individual situation and the market that you're in. So, you may live in a market that's busy all the time, and you can pretty much most of the time always get on anyway without even having top dashers. So like, why even bother with it? But like, that wasn't the case here. So, and I think any experienced dasher is going to tell anybody the same thing. It really is like market dependent. Um, and now the next thing I wanted to talk about here is, as far as I know, now this has been talked about probably since the early beginnings of DoorDash drivers being on YouTube. Like probably countless hours of discussion about this particular topic. But as far as how much are you really prioritized for orders when you're on a like Top Dash, or when you're on the catering program, these type of things? Are you, do you really see the better orders or not? And like I said, this has probably been debated million times before on YouTube by different people, and all kinds of opinions about that subject. So I'll just give my 2 cents, my personal opinions, in my 1 year of dashing here. But just in my opinion, I believe that I'm seeing like overall better orders just by being on the programs, not necessarily my how good my acceptance rate is, or things like that. I think it has more to do with being on the programs. That's just my, for whatever it's worth, my opinion, my 2 cents. And I'll give you an example. I really don't have that much problems at all maintaining the top dashers. The 100 orders a month. I mean, I sometimes I've even had that in like the first week. I mean, I usually average, 200, 250 orders a month, so I don't have any problems with that. The acceptance rate is the big one. Okay, and I know a lot of dashers out there talk about Hell Week. they're real picky and choosy for the first 3 weeks of the month, and their acceptance rate tanks. And then the last week of the month, they take every single order to get back up to 70% to finish the month at 70 and get the top dash for the next month. I don't do that. For me, it's hell month, not hell week. So I typically, what I do is at any time during the month, if I fall below 75%, then I'm lowering my criteria, my standards for taking orders. I'll take, like, I become more picky and choosy when I'm above 75. And then once I get below 70 to 75, I have like a lower set of standards. And then if it, like earlier this month, you probably already watched the videos where I talked about this. If it gets below 70, then I really lower the standards and take some pretty awful orders, if I get down into the 60s. I've only been below 70% twice. That's it. This whole past year, only 2 times have I ever been below that. So anyway, the point that I was trying to make about the priority on orders, I heard somewhere, this is just something that I heard somewhere. I can't remember where, and it might, probably, I don't know if it's true or not, but somewhere I heard that whatever your acceptance rate, the exact acceptance rate that you finish at the last day of the month, that rate is what you're scored on the whole entire following month by the DoorDash algorithm, if that makes sense. So let's say this is December, so December 31st at 11:59 p.m. I finish with a 76% acceptance rate. So for all of January, no matter what my acceptance rate is, like throughout the month, I'm the algorithm scores me for that whole month on a 76% acceptance rate. Is that true or not? I don't know. Or is it, are you scored based on whatever your current acceptance rate is? I have no idea. And I don't know, unless the people actually working in the offices in DoorDash, they might be the only ones who really do know. But any of us drivers, talking about this, it's probably pure speculation. But to kind of put that to the test, if you will, my own little experiment. This was probably back in the summertime, I think, somewhere in there. I decided to test that out and finish the month with like a really high acceptance rate. I think it was like 92 or 93%. And I was like, okay, so let's see if, the last day of the month, midnight, it was like at 93. So the whole entire next month, was I going to get better orders or whatever? And I did not see a difference. So the only difference in orders that I've seen and prioritize in orders is, okay, so when I got on to the Top Dasher program, okay, and then then I would say probably getting on the catering, large order and catering program came next. And after I got on that program, I did see, and I still do see, not all the time, but pretty fairly regular, consistent amount of catering orders. I do a few a week, not a whole lot. And that the amount of those that I get week to week doesn't really change with my acceptance rate, I don't think. And then the other thing was, when I got the emails from DoorDash that I was prioritized on shopping orders, and that but if I wanted to, I could opt out of the prioritization, and but I didn't opt out of it. But and I did start to see more shopping orders after I got those emails, and when they said I was prioritized, I did see more. So like I said, I just in my gut feeling is that the the prioritizing of the types of orders comes more from being on these various different programs than versus the acceptance rate. Like I said, that's just, I don't really know for sure. I don't know that any drivers know for sure, but like I said, that's my 2 cents. And comment below, if you're a driver, your opinions on this. I'm sure there's, hundreds of millions of different opinions on this subject. You could have endless debates about it. um, and okay, so one last thing about the Top Dasher program is, which you may or may not know about, but it's supposed to also include dedicated phone support. Now, like I said, you're talking second half of December through through February. So you're just talking 2.5 months that I wasn't a Top Dasher in the beginning. I don't really remember having to call DoorDash support that much. I don't know if I called them at all the first couple months. Um, but I've heard that there can be long wait times when drivers do call in, but there's supposed to be dedicated support for Top Dashers. Now, since I've been a Top Dasher and I've called support, quite a few times actually, and I've never waited, for all intents and purposes. I mean, just about every time I've ever called, the phone only rings, one or two rings, and then I get the automated, message, and then listen to elevator music for about like 1 minute, two at the most, and then somebody comes on. So, so that's like if other dashers experience long wait times on the phone. I don't really know for sure, but if they do, then that's just an extra little nice benefit that you get for being on the Top Dasher program. Um, and That's about all I have to say about it. And if I forgot anything, maybe I'll throw a comment below, or if you have any other questions about it, or opinions, whatever, comment below. And so, like I said, that's it for this video. If you like the video, and hopefully some of this information helped out some people. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, check out my other videos, and hope everyone has a very nice Christmas. And if you're traveling, be safe out there on the roads. Until next time.